All right, let's jump right into this explainer and map out the fascinating financial evolution of your average earner. To make this super concrete, we're going to follow a character we'll just call the stick man. He basically represents all of us at some point, working hard, stressed about bills, and just kind of confused about money. But as we're going to see, by unlocking some hidden psychological secrets of millionaire thinking, he literally transforms his entire reality.
So it brings up this wild question. Why do some people stay totally broke even after getting decent raises? It's the classic broke paradox. We've all seen it, right? Higher salaries almost never equal actual wealth unless there's a massive shift in mindset. Think about it. What if building wealth isn't really about your exact paycheck, but way more about your psychology? Section 1, the broke paradox.
And that leads us right into Section 2, rethinking the money flow.
See, the average earner usually falls headfirst into the instant gratification trap. Our guy, the stickman, gets a paycheck and boom, he immediately buys a liability. He's chasing that quick dopamine hit, maybe upgrading his phone or buying a fancy watch. But millionaires? They completely flip this script. They prioritize buying assets that actually produce income. They're totally willing to trade a 5-minute thrill for a much bigger long-term vision. Which perfectly illustrates this incredibly sneaky psychological trap called lifestyle inflation. It's exactly why getting a promotion often just means buying a more expensive car instead of, actually building wealth. Our stickman gets a raise and automatically dials up his spending to match his new salary. He's just cranking up the speed on the financial treadmill, running faster, sweating way more, but going absolutely nowhere. So how do we break out of that? Intentional budgeting. The millionaire mind doesn't just cross its fingers and hope for the best, it architects a literal plan. Step 1, you track every single dollar. Step 2, categorize that spending. And step 3, you assign a specific purpose to your money before the month even kicks off. Honestly, giving your money strict marching orders is so much more freeing than getting to the end of the month and wondering where the heck it all went.
Section 3, the true wealth accelerators.
Here's the next massive light bulb moment. Just saving your money isn't enough anymore. Stashing cash in a regular bank account feels super safe, sure, but inflation is basically a silent thief, constantly eating away at its value. The millionaire mindset upgrades from just saving to actively investing. They put their money into the market, into real estate, into businesses. They make absolutely sure their money is working way harder than they are. Number 8, as in the eighth wonder of the world, compound growth. This is an absolute psychological powerhouse. See, our human brains are hardwired for linear thinking, so we really struggle to wrap our heads around exponential curves. And that blind spot is exactly why starting early is literally the ultimate wealth cheat code. When the stickman finally realizes that his invested money makes money and then that new money makes even more money, his entire worldview shifts. Now, think about your income growth. If you're relying on a single paycheck, which is exactly where the stickman started, your growth stays pretty flat. Getting a second job helps a little bit, sure, but the real exponential leap, that happens when you stop relying on just one source. Millionaires architect multiple income streams, side hustles, businesses, dividends. This doesn't just protect them, it creates this massive whirlpool of accelerating wealth.
Moving to Section 4, time, risk, and value.
Most of us are totally conditioned to just trade our time for a fixed hourly wage. We look at the clock and we see dollars, right? But the wealthy understand something profound. Time is your only truly finite resource. You can always hustle and make another buck, but there is absolutely no way to manufacture another hour. So the millionaire mindset actively uses money to buy back time, freeing them up for high-level strategic growth. To stop trading hours for dollars, you've got to focus on 3 main pillars. First, continuous learning. Always be reading, always be adapting. Second, networking with successful people who force you to level up your thinking. And third, shifting your entire focus to solving complex problems. Because at the end of the day, wealth is just a byproduct of the value you deliver to the world. So our stickman starts reading, finding mentors, and hunting for real problems to solve. And we've got to talk about risk. Avoiding it completely because you're scared of failing, that might feel safe, but it 100% guarantees financial stagnation. The millionaire mind actually embraces calculated risk. They aren't just gambling blindly, they analyze. And the best part? When things inevitably go wrong, they don't quit. They just view failure as a mandatory tuition fee for their real-world financial education. Which brings us to Section 5, the transformed millionaire mind. When you step back and look at this whole journey, the mental shifts are just staggering. Our stickman went from buying liabilities for a quick buzz to acquiring assets for long-term freedom. He evolved from just saving cash to actively investing it. He expanded from one fragile income to multiple streams, and he traded his fear of failure for the mastery of calculated risk. Unlearning those terrible habits is the ultimate secret to escaping the broke paradox for good. I want to leave you with this absolutely crucial thought. Wealth starts with changing the way you think before changing the amount you earn. The stickman's journey completely proves that your ultimate wealth accelerator isn't your boss and it isn't your paycheck, it's your psychology. If you want to change your bank balance, you literally have to change your mind first. So, out of all the millionaire habits we unpacked in this explainer today, which one are you going to start using tomorrow?